Good morning. This is Kelley Hobart from Alpaca Direct, and I'm here working on some Christmas gifts. And one of the things that I'm making for this week is called the world's simplest mittens. And you can see that on mine, I have put a little bit shorter cuff because I'm doing it out of one skein of tensing, and it's only about 137 yards. So I'm going to be using every last bit to make these, but it's so awesome to be able to use yarn out of your closet. So every week we have a prize, and for this last week we had the Bravo Alpaca Petites in this sapphire blue, and that was the winning color. This is 100% baby alpaca made in Peru, so it is a fantastic
That's
yarn.
our brand, right?
Yes, can you see how beautiful it is? I love this color.
They can't hear me, so tell them what brand
Oh,
it is.
this is it's called Bravo Alpaca Petite, and it's by our Alpaca Direct, and it's really, really lovely. If you haven't used 100% baby alpaca to do hats or mittens or anything like that with, it's fantastic. Also, for this week, I was thinking that I would offer this lovely yarn. It's by Barocco. It's called Ultra Alpaca. It's a 50% 50-50 blend of Peruvian Highland wool and superfine alpaca. So it makes mittens that are so sturdy and so warm and so soft. And I have made myself plenty of mittens made out of this yarn. And one skein makes a pair of mittens very easily. And it's beautiful. You can kind of see how it has multi-colors to it. Can you see it, Jim?
So what
Can they
colors
see
are
it in
they
there?
loading on?
It is emerald green. And the other color is called azure, or you could just say green or blue. It's easier. This one's called azure mix, and this is called emerald green, but you can call it green or blue. I chose these two colors because they're super bright and they're beautiful. I love these colors for like stocking colors, wintry colors. I don't know, they're just beautiful. Don't you like them?
If anyone else has used Ultra Alpaca, if they like
Have any of you out there ever used Ultra Alpaca for your knitting projects? Oh my. Post comments and let us know, because if you do that, you also get entered to win the prize. And when you win, all you have to do is contact Alpaca Direct customer service and give us your shipping address, and we send it out in the mail to you free. It's a win-win-win. So it's totally fantastic. But I do love Ultra Alpaca by Barocco Yarn Company. It's a
lot
great.
of people are just joining us, so maybe you can tell
Good
them about
morning,
the
everyone. Oh yes, this, I love this pattern. It's by Tin Can Knits, and I found it on Ravelry. And you can see here, it's just a very simple set of mittens. But let me tell you what's really cool about this pattern. You can use any weight of yarn. It makes sizes from little kids all the way up to men's sizes. And so you can use whatever yarn you have, and it shows you exactly how many stitches to cast on for each size. And it's a super simple pattern. It is, let's see, it is basically, this is the first page of it. Okay, and let's see the second page. So if you have never done mittens before and you're a new knitter, this is a great pattern for that. And here's the second page of it. And that's all it is. It ends on the bottom here. So isn't that cool?
Would the Ultra Alpaca be good yarn?
Yes, I love Ultra Alpaca for mittens. I have worn many, that's the yarn that I used most for that, just because the wool gives it a little more structure than the alpaca. And the alpaca that's in here also gives it the warmth. You don't need 100% alpaca to have a nice warm mitten, but it lasts for a long time. And it has a nice twist. If you can see on the yarn, it has a nice twist on it. And so it lasts for a long time. It feels super soft. The price is right. I mean, it's very economical. I mean, where can you buy a set of alpaca gloves that are 50% alpaca and, spend a very small amount on it?
Hey, several
You know what
people
I'm saying?
joining. There's lots of people joining from New York.
Awesome. Good
Michigan.
morning, everyone. It's so nice to have you here with me. I'm having fun working on, I'm getting a start on Christmas gifts, and I'm trying to use up more of the yarn that I have in stash, right, Jim? Because I just need to tone down on some of that. And I have really nice yarn, like these ones that I'm making right now. I have almost completed my thumb gusset here on both sides. I'm ready to put my thumb gusset stitches on scrap yarn and then start the palm of the hand. If you look here, the yarn that I'm using, it's a discontinued yarn by Juniper Moon. It's called Tenzing, and it is a superfine merino wool and yak. It's a really nice yarn, and there's no reason for it to be sitting in my closet, So I'm trying to use up some yarn, and that's great.
So Nancy says she's in Texas and it's over 100 degrees, but we had that too, huh?
Oh, we had that too. It was so hot. Oh my word, it's so hot outside. But anyway, okay, here's the trick. You get up really early in the morning and you go for your run. If you go much after 8 a.m., it's too hot. But I've been taking Sydney, our puppy, because she has plenty of energy. And so she goes for a run with me in the morning. And then after that, yesterday I did the lawn mowing because we were gone on the weekend. Why didn't we we were watching Evie.
Yeah.
We were watching our granddaughters, so we didn't get our lawns done like we usually do. And so I did it yesterday, and by the time I got done at 11, it was smoking hot.
It got up to 100 degrees, right?
Yeah, I mean, here it's kind of a dry heat. It was really hot. And so we just stay in the air conditioner, and we have tinted windows on our house, thankfully. And so we can keep nice and cool. And it was just fine. Yeah. So, and I got to do a little knitting. I mean, what's not to like? Warm weather gives you an excuse to do a little knitting. Darn. It's totally fantastic. Oh, also, I was thinking today I would just give you a few little tips about how I deal with these lovely patterns. So here's an example of a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and it is a beautiful pattern. And these patterns can be quite expensive. They're like right around the $8 mark. Yeah, they're kind of expensive. So how do you keep these patterns nice so that you can use them over and over? I was thinking more along the line of my world's simplest mittens because I want to do lots of mittens. And if I destroy my pattern, then I have to keep printing it out, right? So I just wanted to tell you a couple tricks that I use when I do my patterns and I want to be able to repeat them. First of all, it is a really good idea when you're doing a pattern for someone to either log it in Ravelry, or you take a little notebook or, a little notebook like this, and you write down certain things. And the information that you need is, I wrote them down so that I could remember to tell you. So you write down the name of the person that you're giving it to, the pattern designer's name. You want to tell them what size you made for them, so your stitch count, right? And the needle size and your yarn used and any changes that you made to the pattern. So you want to write those down because otherwise you can't recreate that project. If you get it and you make it for your loved one and they're like, oh my gosh, I just love this. Can I have it in a different color?
2 years later.
Yes. If you don't have all that information written down, you aren't going to be able to make the same project. It won't turn out the same, and you'll be going, what did I do? I forgot what I made. Because, after you're like 50 projects down the road, it's hard to remember what you did for each project, right? So writing it down is really important. And then I like to use these kind of sleeves. It is, this one's by Avery, and they're my favorite because they're the thickest ones. I really like them.
Those from Costco, right?
Yeah, I really like them. And so if I was using a sleeve like this one, then one second, I'll show you. And when you're done with your pattern and you want to store it, you just store it in one of these white binders that you would find at Costco. And the binders come with a little lip in it so that you can actually say patterns for 2022 or Christmas patterns for 2022 or, whatever. If you don't knit that many patterns, then maybe all your patterns will fit in here. Not mine.
You took up too much
I
room on my
have
bookshelf.
the 4-inch binders, and I have
Lots of
3 of them.
more than that.
And they're stuffed. Like, poor Jim, he is so patient with me because I am always going through his copier ink. And I'm like, honey, it says low ink. Can you fix that for me? Oh, he's so patient. It's wonderful when you have a husband that's so easygoing. Well, he's not that easygoing, but he accommodates my various little habits that I have. So see, the sheet protectors just allow you to put them right into your binder. And see how you can just stick it right into your binder, and then there it will be, nice, safe, and sound when you want to make it again. Because like we said, the ink, the printer ink is expensive, and you don't want to keep printing out a new copy each time that you need one. And another little trick that I do is when I'm doing my patterns, like right here, I put it right on it in pencil. And the reason why I use pencil is so that if I need to make it again or what have you, and I want to make a different size, I can just erase and write down the new size, circle the new size, and I'll be fine. So I also wanted to show you that if you stick it in a sleeve, let's see if I can stick this in a sleeve, I can write all this information on this sheet protector and then just simply erase it off. So if I'm just going to write these notes and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, how do you open these, Jim? Oh, okay. These are different markers than I'm used to. See how you can mark on the sheet protector and then you're not actually marking on your pattern. Do any of you out there use it? Before I keep going, do any of you guys follow this technique? And you can also do row by row using your sticky notes. It sticks perfectly to the sheet protector. And then watch, when you've written all this information down and you've copied it into Ravelry, then you can just simply erase it. See? It's gone. See the little eraser? Are these things from Amazon, Jim?
Yeah, I think so.
See, they're little magnetic erasable things. They're for a whiteboard, but you can use them for your patterns and keep track of what you're doing with your pattern, and actually not make any marks at all on your pattern. But if you do decide to mark on your pattern, don't forget to use pencil, because then you can erase it and you don't have to print out a whole new sheet. So let's see here with what I like about the this lovely little mitten pattern. I know I showed it to you before. And let's see if I can just show you the different sizes. And then I'm going to show you how to cast on. Have you guys seen me cast on before for 2 at a time in the round using the magic loop method? I don't know. If you have, post comments in the comment section and you'll be entered to win this yarn. Okay? So on here, do you see on the front where it says all the different weights of yarn that you can use? Can you see that, Jim? Yeah. This is a great pattern. And do you know that there's over 18,000 people that have posted their finished projects on these simplest mittens? This is probably one of the most popular patterns on Ravelry of all the patterns they have there. And I think they probably have millions of patterns. So I'm going to take a look here, Jim, and see if I can show them real quick how I would cast on for 2 at a time. Sorry, I kind of moved that tripod a little bit, sweetheart. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm just going to pretend that my pretend mitten is going to have 20 stitches total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do this German twisted cast on. So 2, 3.
So So what are you doing? A German
4,
twisted cast on?
1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and my tail was a little short, so I might not have enough. You need to have a long enough tail because this cast on is like a long tail cast on in that it uses the tail to create some of the stitches. So then what you do is you move that way over to the right, okay? And then what you can do, I'll get a little tiny bit longer tail this time, just in case. So I'm going to cast on the full amount of stitches instead of half the stitches. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to cast on 10 more, which will be the back side of the mitten. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So let me just check and make sure I have 20. So we have 5 and 10, and then 5, oops, and 6. So
You good?
we'll go here. Then you split this in half.
And what are you showing them here?
This is how to cast on for 2 at a time. So we can use the magic loop method to, like I'm knitting mine. See this? It's how I cast these on so that I can knit these all at the same time. Literally, I spent less than an hour and a half and I got this much work done. That's why I'm saying if you use, like, I think this cord is a 47-inch cord, and you see how much is on here? There's plenty of room to, if you get your cord too short, anything smaller than a 40-inch cord, and you start losing this loop, your work is too close to the edge and it falls off, and it's not convenient. So having a cord that's long enough is really good. So then what I do is I had this one split, right? And then I take these, so I have half my stitches that I had cast on from before, and all I do is I put these 2 needles next to each other, okay? And then I start casting on again. 1, don't worry about it, oops, but you got to cast on with the second needle, sorry. You cast on with that needle, and then tighten that first stitch up. And then make sure you have enough. At first it's a little wiggly, but you can do it. See how it's a little kind of, when you first get started, it's just a little tedious, but it's not a big deal. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. And my tail's a little bit short, so I'm just gonna do 8. Or let me see if I can do a couple more. That's why having the a long enough tail is a really good idea because you can always cut it off, but it's hard to add, you know? And so, let's see, I can get one more. Boing, and then pull that there. So I almost got the full amount. And then they're right next to each other. So what you would do, see how your working yarn is on these back needles? It is on this needle too, and I'll bring it around. So then you would take your working yarn and put it between the 2 needles, and you make those stitches kiss each other with the bottoms facing down, the cast on edge facing down. And then you could do, knit 1, purl 1, or just knit. I'll just knit just so you can see the technique. So, but casting down for 2 at a time in the round is really an awesome skill. When I first learned this technique, because otherwise you have to cast on for one, knit a few rounds, and then cast on for the other, and then bring them together. And it's so much more time consuming than just casting it on this way. You see, I have my stitches facing toward the bottom. You do want to make sure that you're not knitting with your tail. Sorry, Jim, I didn't mean to knock your. You don't want to knit with the tail, of course. Right, and you want to keep this working yarn back here in the back. There, and then untwist that. And again. And this is why they call it a magic loop method too, because Jim, can you show them a loop here?
Yep.
And a loop here.
Yep.
That's why it's called the magic loop method. And I find that it's super easy. I can do it in my sleep. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. Some people think that magic loop method is kind of annoying because they're not sure where to knit next. And so all I do is I look, where's your working yarn? You ask yourself that question. And you look, yes, it's on the right-hand needle. I have knit that stitch. Otherwise, the working yarn wouldn't be sitting right there. And you can't knit it twice. So the next stitch you'll be knitting is the one to the left of it. It's an easy way to tell, where am I? What do I need to do next? Right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, so casting on for 2 at a time in the round is so awesome. I was knitting probably for about a year before I discovered this fancy little technique and actually understood it. I'm like, what? What are they doing? And then, once I understood it, I'm like, God is good. Oh, dear. Just because I was so happy to learn the skill, it gave me a whole new way to knit and really enjoy it and get my projects done all at one time. So I have no second sock syndrome, no second mitten syndrome, nothing like that. They look exactly the same because if I accidentally knit one more round on the project, no problem. It's one more round on both of the mittens, so they're exactly the same. So then it's called a design element. See how I have these going? Isn't that cool? Oh my gosh, I totally love it. I love casting on that way. I love being able to do mittens and socks using that method and getting done so quickly. Not that I'm in a hurry, but it's always nice to start a new project. And if you can get the old project done a little quicker, voila, you're on to a new project. More fun, shall I say. So I was thinking.
So have them vote one more time on that.
Yes. Okay. So again, Jim was saying that I should have you vote again for our Ultra Alpaca by Barocco Yarn Company, and it's a 50-50 blend of Peruvian Highland wool mixed with superfine alpaca made in Peru. It's a fantastic yarn. It's not a superwash yarn, which is actually in some ways a blessing for when you're doing mittens and stuff like that because it doesn't stretch out. So that is a good thing about not having superwash.
Discount for that too.
Yes, and every week we've been doing a 10% off discount on whatever yarn that we're featuring. And for this week, since it's Ultra Alpaca, we have a coupon code. It's TT8222. And that is for a 10% off discount for today only. So you can enjoy, if you like knitting with Ultra Alpaca, today's a great day to buy yarn. Because who doesn't like a little discount coupon code? And I was thinking for this next week, I have this lovely mosaic sock pattern that I'm going to be working on. I actually wanted to do it for this week, but I ran out of time before I ran out of things that I needed to do.
You had grandbaby duty.
Yes, I did. But it was so fantastic. I'm trying to teach her how to swim.
Tell me, grandbaby.
Yes. Jim said I had grandbaby duty, and so we went down to the water and we were swimming. And Evie's learning to not be afraid of the water, and she'll actually go over her head and float around now, which is a big accomplishment for our little girl. So anyway, that's so fantastic. And then this next week, I will work on those mosaic socks so you can see it, because it is really, how shall I say it? It looks super complicated, but it's not. It's fun. And so I wanted to talk to you about that and let you learn a little bit about it. So maybe you'll like to make those. And the lady that I bought the pattern from, she has sock patterns that are very reasonably priced. They're just a couple dollars each, and they're well written. So anyway, it's always nice to learn about a new designer. That's great. So for this last week, we had 2 of these little Bravo baby alpaca petites, and this is the sapphire colorway. And let's see who. Oh,
Cobalt.
yes. Oh, sorry, it's cobalt. Right. And the winner for this yarn is Paula Dickinson. Yay! Congratulations, Paula. You won yourself some yarn. Now, all you have to do is get in contact with customer service at Alpaca Direct and give us your shipping address, and we can get this lovely yarn out in the mail to you. And you can try it and see why I love it so much. So totally fantastic. And for the rest of you out there, we are going to be voting on for this next week is some lovely Ultra Alpaca by Barocco in green or blue. You can just say green or blue. Yeah. So that'd be great. And so I hope all of you have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday.